Little difficult topic today. Occipital posterior position. Okay. What is the etiology? How do you diagnose it? Occipital posterior position, BROP, vertex right occipital posterior position, is more common than the left. Why? Because there is colon on this side and the uterus is tilted, dextral rotation of the uterus. That's why the back falls on the right side. Hence, BROP is more common than the VLP position. Okay. What is the etiology for occipital posterior position? There can be etiology in relation with the maternal pelvis, can be because of there can be deflection of the head. Whether deflection of the head is the etiology or the result of occipital posterior position, we do not know. But let us understand what are the reasons for deflection of the head in occipital posterior position also. Okay. First thing is abnormal pelvis inlet. Android pelvis, it is triangular flat. There is a chance that she can have occipital posterior position. Anthropoid pelvis, when this AP diameter of the pelvis is more than the transverse diameter. This is the AP diameter, it is more than. It can be, normally this is 11, this is 12, this is 13. Here the AP diameter may be 14, 15 like that. So it is a roomy pelvis. There is adequate space, the head is loose and comes out like that. That is anthropoid pelvis. Flat pelvis, there is no space for the fetal head here. It moves in front and remains reflexed. Pendulous abdomen also. Short gynecoid pelvis also, it remains floating, it remains reflexed. So these are the reasons in relation to the pelvic brain which are responsible for OP position or occipital posterior position. Now let us think of why the head is deflexed in OP position. When it is like this, there is approximation of the fetal spine and maternal spine because the back goes posteriorly. Normally it is in front. Here it goes posteriorly. It causes deflection of the cervical vertebra and the head also. Pendulous abdomen, the fetus moves in front a little bit and no support. So deflex head. Then increase angle of inclination. Normal angle is like this. If it increases, there is deflection. High assimilation of pelvis means sacral L5 is included in the sacral vertebra. Here, high assimilation of pelvis. Low assimilation of pelvis means sacral promontory is at S4 level. So it changes the angle of inclination and causes deflection of the head. One more thing is, which in detail little bit 5 minutes will take, will describe why there is deflection in occipital posterior position. Now this is the sinciput and here is the occiput. This is the bitemporal diameter. Okay. So you have to remember like this. One joint and other joint. This distance. You understand? And this promontory and this eminence. This distance. This distance is smaller than this one. Okay. In occipital posterior position, the sinciput falls in the wider distance of the pelvis. This is the wider distance. That's why deflection. Normally in anterior position, what will happen? Sinciput falls in the smaller distance of the pelvis, which supports the sinciput, and there is increase of flexion or well flexed head. Here in occipital posterior position, the distance is wide. That's why there is deflection. This is how the etiology matters in occipital posterior position. Now what is the diagnosis? How do you diagnose? When patient enters into the labor room and I examine the lady per abdominally, on inspection there will be suprapubic flatness. Normally there is a bulge of occiput in anterior position, but when it goes posteriorly, this small portion is here. I will explain it with this. Normally there is a bulge of this occiput in anterior position. When it goes posteriorly, there is suprapubic flatness. That is the first thing on inspection. Okay. When I palpate for the head is floating. False impression of the size of the head is obtained. Bitemporal diameter comes in the graph. Normally in anterior position, it is like this. This is a larger diameter, biparietal diameter in anterior position. So I can exactly assess the size of the head. But in posterior position, false impression of the size of the head is obtained on pelvic rib examination. I forgot to tell you about the lateral palpation. Lateral palpation, the back is felt extremely in the flanks here. And fetal heart also, normally it is heard 5 cm away, so it will be heard more lateral. 10, say about approximately 10 cm. That is how you can confirm that probably you are dealing with the occipital posterior position. fetal by auscultating the fetal heart and confirm the side which side the back is. Now let us learn how to diagnose the occipito-posterior position in early labor and late in labor. Early labor means I mean to say before 3 cm dilatation of cervix or latent phase of labor. Late in labor means after rupture of membranes or after 3 cm dilatation of cervix in active phase of labor. Diagnosis early in labor. Normally with the onset of uterine contractions, there is engagement of the head in vertex. But here, even though there are good uterine contraction, the labor has already started, say about 3 hours, 4 hours, still it remains floating or it gets fixed. It doesn't enter the pelvic cavity at all, means there is no engagement. I'll say there is late engagement of the head, first thing. Second problem will be, as the head enters into the pelvic cavity, the head is deflexed. Naturally, there is lot of space and the back of membrane will be elongated. Normally, if it is a vertex, the cervix is well applied to the presenting part and there is a saucer shaped back of membrane. But when it is loose like this, then there is a space here and the back of membrane will be elongated back of membrane on PV examination. Okay. So what are the features? Diagnosis early in labor, late engagement of the head, cervix not well applied to the presenting part, elongated back of membranes, and when I observe the lady late in labor, premature bearing down also will be there. Diagnosis late in labor, she is a patient of prolonged labor because diameter of engagement is little bit more. Occipito, suboccipito frontal is 10 cm, suboccipito and occipito frontal is 11.25 cm. Suboccipito frontal and occipito frontal, they are more. That's why prolonged labor is seen. Arrest of labor may also occur. Hence, all signs symptoms of prolonged labor are seen, which can land up into arrest of labor, obstructed labor, rupture of uterus, obstetric shock and death. So these are the issues. Hence, we must know and diagnose the occipito-posterior position as early as possible. Unless I suspect, I cannot diagnose. Okay. So what are the findings? Late in labor. All signs symptoms of prolonged labor will be seen, like maternal tachycardia, dehydration, sweating, colonic distension, distension of lower segment, or over distension of lower segment with the formation of retraction ring, overstretching of lower segment which will be ascending. So the lower segment gets stretched, overstretched, and the upper segment gets retracted over the uterus. That is known as retraction ring. The level will rise once the labor progresses, once there is prolonged labor. Okay. So the evidence of retraction ring: uterus is retracted over the fetus. There is early rupture of membranes. Fetal distress also can result with a meconium stained nacre, irregular fetal heart rate, and caput on PV examination, molding on PV examination. These are the all signs symptoms of fetal distress. So prolonged labor with fetal distress is the result. Early cases. Later on, over distension and impending rupture, bleeding PV, tenderness over the uterus, rupture uterus where fetus is outside and the uterus is separate on peritoneal examination. What is the course of labor? That we will learn in the next clip. And what is abnormal labor also we'll learn next time. Okay, thank you so much.